England haven't had the most of convincing or entertaining games during the group stages. A lot of fans as well are calling for a change in the lineup and a bit more energy in the team. So, no, we're going to give our starting 11 to beat Slovakia on Sunday in the round of 16 of the Euros. Let's get straight into it. How do you think the game will go, and how do you think Slovakia will set up?
I think I should start by saying I am an absolute England optimist. Although we have not been playing very exciting football, I'm still quite confident that we'll go far. The way we played against... Oh, this is so confusing now. Slovenia, Slovakia. The way we played against Slovenia wasn't exciting, but it was a game-controlling performance. You have to remember they had 11 men sat behind the ball, which is hard to break down no matter what team you are. You see Man City struggling, you see Real Madrid struggling with that sometimes. So I'm all right. I'm confident. It's better than Netherlands and Austria, who we thought we were going to get. So we'll take Slovakia. They're going to set up quite defensively, but then as well with quite an aggressive, like man-to-man press. I think they're a strong, aggressive team. And look, it's knockout football now. You have to win. There's no sitting back and getting a point in the group and hoping you go through. They have to come at us, which I think will only benefit us. And I see nothing but a win. Call me stupid, but I'm quite confident about it, mate.
Yeah. To be fair, I probably do see a win as well. Like you said, I don't think they'll come at us in the sense of trying to press us high all the time. Like you said, I think they'll get 11 men behind the ball.
Yeah.
And they'll really be aggressive on the counter, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look at the England team and they see weakness. I genuinely think that. I think they feel like they can get 11 men behind the ball, be safe and secure, and we've shown signs of vulnerability. I know we've got a really good defensive record in the tournament at the moment, but I don't know. I think they'll be fancying it. They definitely will be fancying it.
100%. I think the absolute key is scoring first. If we score first, they have to come out, which only benefits us. If they score first, they can just sit back and absorb what we've been doing for the past few games. So I think if they score first, I will be instantly panicked. So let's fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it happening. You can see anything happening with England. So it is. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Like you said as well, with the games we played, I know you said you're an optimist, but people always seem to overestimate how good, or underestimate, should I say, how bad the opposition are. But when it's tournament football, it is really hard to beat a team that just go in there not to concede. It's so difficult. It just produces so many different problems, and like you said, the best teams in the world struggle with it. So we need to be patient with the team, and hopefully we can start building that momentum in the right direction.
I agree.
Which leads us on to our starting 11. Okay, so let's go. The keeper and back four. What are you playing?
Well, let me begin with, I think mine is going to be very different to yours and most people's out there, and I'm fine being the outcast, okay? In goal is obviously Jordan Pickford. I really rate him. He's a great goalkeeper. Most clean sheets in an England shirt or something, that goalkeeper that we've ever had or something like that. He's really good, commanding. I think he could be a bit better with his passing. Maybe gets a bit flustered. I mean, he's not a ball playing keeper, but I think you need a bit of that when you've got the caliber of players that we've got. No disrespect to Everton, they don't have the same kind of players. So yeah, we're sticking Pickford in goal. I am going at Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. You hate him. You hate him.
I don't hate him. Listen, if you're going to play him, I can understand it more against a team like Slovakia.
Yeah,
but it still frustrates me. He's just a frustrating player to watch.
Let me tell you why I like him. It's because I was an advocate for him playing in centre mid, right? That didn't work. I don't 100% believe that was his fault. I think if he had a target aggressive runner out on the left where he can play his trademark passes, he would have looked much better. But I agree, it didn't work, so move him on, fine. He's still the England player with the most chances created. Even though for two and a bit games, everyone said he didn't play very well. Kyle Walker's been a bit erratic for me. and hasn't been as calm and assured as he normally is. I know the whole team have. I don't think he overlaps Saka enough at all. And you see with Arsenal, Ben White, Odegaard, Saka, that overlapping job works 8 times out of 10. So yeah, I would put him in there because I think we might need him in a game like this, and he will benefit my left winger, which we'll get to in a minute. But then I'm going Stones and Gahey. Gahey's been fantastic. Everyone was nervous about him before this tournament began, but quality. Stones is Stones. Left back's a weird one, isn't it? Because is Luke Shaw going to be fit? There's rumours that he is. He said he is. We don't know if he's ready for a 90-minute game. I've not loved Trippier. I don't know why we're not throwing Joe Gomez in there, who has played left back a fair few times for Liverpool. So for me, I'm going Trent, Stones, Gahey. Obviously, sure if he's fit. If not, I'd chance Gomez.
Yeah, I mean that left back. Sorry, is an interesting one because you say you maybe would have picked Joe Gomez or at least an option early on, but he's. I mean, for me, I know he's played left back more than Trippier recently, but Trippier throughout his career has played left back a lot, especially for England as well. So I still feel like you'd get the same problems with the right footer at left back. And with the ideally we want the left footer Luke Shaw to come in, but now we've spent 3 games of the group stage. They're slowly getting a bit more aware of the patterns of movement from each other. Foden on the left, Jude Bellingham, Trippier. They're all getting a bit more aware. The third game in the group stage, they looked more in sync. So now you spent 3 games almost getting them there. And then if we got Luke Shaw fit, we're chucking in Luke Shaw, who's not got a lot of minutes, not got a lot of game time. He's just come back off an injury, may not be fit. And then we've got to flip back to that system that we've just almost got out of. So it's a risk. It's just a risk of bringing him back in.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. Look, it's again, I'd be okay with Trippier if the left winger was changed, which again we'll get to. But what has been happening recently is because Foden comes central, Trippier goes down the line with the ball, has nothing, so then all he does is turn back inside on his right foot, which as a right foot footballer, I would do the same thing. But I think it's an issue with the whole left side. I think if you change one of them, it gets better. I don't think you need to change both. So yeah, look, I'm going to immediately change my mind. You know football much better than me. We both want Luke Shaw. If he was fit, we would both have Luke Shaw, but he's not. So yeah, I'll go with you. Let's keep it Trippier.
Yeah, cool. My back four would be, and the keeper would be the same. I'd have Pickford. Back 4 would be the same, other than wouldn't have Trent. I'd have Kyle Walker just to shore up the defence and the fact he's been there through the first 3 games. I do actually. You kind of convinced me a little bit with Trent. I know you said if there was certain runners, he would have looked better on the ball. And for me, I'm never complaining with when he's on the ball as a centre mid. It's more just when he's off the ball, when the ball's not around him. Like regardless of if he produces a lot of chances or not, I know he can do that. It's more the fact that I just don't feel like he's as proactive and high energy enough when the ball's not at his feet as a midfielder. So for me, a right back shout I could get behind that against a team like Slovakia.
That was my thinking as well. With a team that will probably play quite a strong defensive line and maybe sit back a bit, if we have a direct runner like Marcus Rashford was when he was playing for England, getting in behind the defence and a cross-field over the top ball is a dream for that left winger. Yeah. So yeah, look, I'm not mad at Kyle Walker. I just think he's been a bit erratic. I mean, of course, the assist that he got was good work rate in the beginning to get the ball, but then why he didn't pass it to Saka and Kane 5 seconds earlier is beyond me. And I think he got a bit lucky that it got through to Kane. Yeah, he's just been... And then, was it the Denmark game? I think he played like 3 balls in a row down the line that just went straight out of play. Yeah, and it's like Saka is one of England's better historical players. Give him the opportunity to show you that.
Yeah, and I feel like at City, they do sort of get the best out of his ability on the ball. Like, I don't think he's really amazing on the ball. He's sort of like, if he weren't quick and weren't really strong and unbelievable 1v1, he probably wouldn't be playing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with all your points there, to be fair. Let's go on to the midfield. Midfield 3. I'm guessing you're playing a midfield 3.
I am playing a midfield 3. This is a really tough one, by the way, because Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden haven't been playing very well. Look, Bellingham had a great first game. Foden slightly warmed into it. But for two players of their calibre, they've not been anywhere near their standard. I think, crazily, you have to drop one. Which seems mental saying that now, because we all wanted them all in before the tournament. For me, it is Declan Rice. It is Mainoo. His cameo the other day was fantastic. And it's Jude Bellingham in the 10. I think there's been a bit of a weird, lack of energy. Look, do you know what? Let me say this. I wouldn't mind if it was Foden or Bellingham in the 10. I wouldn't mind. I think off the ball, Bellingham gives you a lot more, where he can go anywhere on the pitch and slot in and do the job. Foden is maybe a little, as we've seen out on the left, is maybe a little bit of a one-trick pony. So I'm going Rice, Mainoo, Bellingham. I wouldn't be mad at Foden in the 10.
Yeah, I agree with you with the first two, and with your point saying it's got to be one or the other. I do think that it's evident to now the whole country that we really, with Harry Kane up front, we need direct runners in behind, or at least one, and the other, and they both need to keep their width. So I'd go Declan Rice, Mainoo. I would go Phil Foden in the 10, just because I thought Jude Bellingham had a good first half of the first game. Since then, I think he's been very poor. I generally do. I feel like he's been a lot worse than what people are saying. I know people have noticed he's not been great, but I just feel like he's been so inactive and just ineffective.
Yeah.
And Phil Foden, I feel like, every game has got better, and he's doing it from the left. Even when he's drifting in the middle quite a lot now and getting on the ball, and he just seems more lively, more effective, especially when he's doing it in a crowded area now. If he gets that space to himself, I feel like with runners beyond, I feel like he could be dangerous, be very good. So I'm going Phil Foden in the 10, Rice and Mainoo holding, and then I'll drop Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. My only issue with Foden playing so far is that I don't think he's done much. Yes, he's looked more lively, but a player of his calibre. And I think mainly my issue is that because he's been playing on the left, we've had no left side. Yeah. I think before the last game, 0% of our attacks had gone down the left, and 92 or something had gone down the right, which is mental. I'd be okay with that. I just, when I've seen them both play, yes, Foden may have more technical ability and skill. Bellingham is a leader, but he hasn't been, has he? It's a weird one. They've been so weird, haven't they? It's hard to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like he's the persona or aura around him, the noise around Bellingham, it's got in everyone's head, making you say you can't drop him, or he's a, you know what I mean? He's a leader, as you said. He comes across so mature in interviews, the way he holds himself. Everything about him is a leader. But if you take all that away and just look at his performances, they've not been good enough. Regardless, he's not been leading out on the pitch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I feel like Phil Foden, he's not been as effective as nowhere near as he could be, but the whole team hasn't. And he is definitely someone that can get the team ticking when he's in the right areas, and he can rise to the level of how everyone's going. So, it's up for debate, definitely. But
yeah, it is. I think, look, he's probably going to keep them both on.
He will.
Let me ask you about the whole idea of Rice, Bellingham, and then Foden in the 10, because a lot of people have been asking for that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that could have worked. I really wouldn't do that now, because listen, it's similar to the chucking Shaw in. It's a risk to put Bellingham back in the 8 to play a more disciplined role. Like you said, he roams about everywhere and he can almost do everything. But in that 8 position, especially out of possession, he has to be very disciplined, which he can do, but he's not done for the last year. So it is a risk chucking him back in and hoping that he can just switch it on and go from one role to the other. He might be able to, and he probably can. But for me, Mainoo's earned his position now. He's earned his starting shirt.
He looked really good, didn't he, the other day?
Yeah. What do you think? Would you be happy with him in there?
Mainoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was crying out, obviously, as I've said
before.
Jude
Bellingham.
Bellingham.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer him there. Initially, I didn't want him there. It was like, he is probably going to get the Ballon d'Or for playing in number 10. Real Madrid's number 10, almost second striker. We have to play in there. Seeing how we have now played and how the games have played out, he's not effective there. He's still so good. He is, like, I know, as we just said, maybe he's a bit overrated. He is still a very good footballer. He can still, everyone says when he walks into a dressing room, it's now his dressing room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we need players on that pitch like that. And so I would not hate Rice, Bellingham, Foden. But then again, you think, like, when Mainoo came on, it kind of changed the game a bit. And so
It
does
did.
he not just deserve to go straight in? What do you think about Adam Orton? Because I love Adam Orton. You've obviously got a Palace shirt on. Would he get in?
I feel like he could definitely do a job, and he could probably do similar to what Mainoo's doing. Other than Mainoo, he surprised me a bit with how direct he was with his forward runs. He was playing a lot higher up than I thought he'd be. So that's something I'm not sure Adam Orton can do. I feel like he can get it and progress it really well. He's really solid on the ball. He can basically do everything that Mainoo could do, but I've not seen the forward runs in the final third from him, that type of thing. So, and Mainoo's probably, I don't know, they've probably got similar experience now at the top level. So he could, I wouldn't feel nervous in the game with him playing, but I'd pick Mainoo definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing as well, why against Slovakia I would pick back on the Bellingham and Foden. I feel like against a low block, which Slovakia will be a lot of the time, Foden is better at slicing teams open or playing in really tight pockets and wriggling out, playing like little 1-2. He's just better at that in them environments. Whereas when it's a bit more open and it's more box to box, and you've got to have good timing into the box, I feel like Jude Bellingham, that's your man to
that's what I was going to say. The only issue with Foden playing at the 10 is I don't think he makes the run that Bellingham did the other day to score the header. And I think the way Kane is playing at the minute, we need players in the box in situations like that. And I just don't know if Foden does that. He is more of a lingerer on the back edge of the box. Sorry. It's going to be it's an interesting one. I think I've been Foden's biggest critique, but that is because he's just left the left side alone, and we haven't had a left side. Jude Bellingham has been equally as ineffective. I'll say not bad, but ineffective. So, look, one of them probably should get dropped. I don't think either of them will.
No, I think the only change I actually think he'll make is Kobbie Mainoo to start. That's all I think he'll do.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I won't hate because it's keeping, just getting everyone used to, like, everyone's still building that team chemistry up again. So I don't mind that, but I think the fans won't be too happy.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the front three. Okay. Front three. Who are you? Obviously everyone's talking about we've got to have direct people running in behind. Who are you playing on the wings? Obviously Harry Kane's up front, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Harry Kane's up front. I know a lot of people have been asking him to be dropped. You cannot drop Harry Kane. One of the best finishers, if not the best finisher in the world, for a reason. 40 goals or whatever it was in the Bundesliga for a reason. Golden Boot in the Premier League for a reason. He has to play up front. He is what people don't realise. He's a moments player. He's not an Aguero who's going to run through the whole team 5 times and maybe score, maybe not. He needs a moment to put it in the back of the net, and he will. So you have to play him. He is missing a direct runner. If you think back to when we've had Sterling on the wing, when we've had Rashford on the wing, that's when Kane thrives. And we've not got that because Foden's been there and maybe not been doing as much as he could. Left wing for me is Anthony Gordan. And it has to be Anthony Gordan. So quick, deceptively quick. I think I looked at his stats the other day and was shocked at how fast he actually was. Aggressive. He's not going to look to cut inside all the time. And I think he's going to be that man to get behind the right back, who is 37 years of age, by the way, the Slovakia right back.
Is he? Okay.
Yes, he is. He's going to be the man to get past that right back and swing it into Kane, Bellingham, Foden, Saka at the back post. Foden's not going to do that for us. He's going to cut inside, and the right back's going to be laughing, in my opinion. So it is now time for Anthony Gordan. I mean, what did he play the other day? 5 minutes, and he looked great.
If that, yeah.
It's Anthony Gordan on the left for me. It's Kane up front, and it's Saka on the right. I'm not 100% against Palmer on the right, but I don't think Saka deserves to be dropped.
Yeah, I feel like that. I agree. Saka doesn't deserve to be dropped on his performances, but on what we need for the team, I feel like he's almost got to. and it's no fault of his own, really. It's more the fact that, for me, I don't think you can have, or I prefer not to have, Gordan and Saka both on and none of them to come off the bench. Because if that doesn't work and something's not, we've not got no direct pacey wingers in behind to come on fresh with 20 minutes to go. So I would definitely want one of them not to start. And for me, like you said, Gordan has to start. In my team, I'm playing Foden in the 10, and you mentioned he's not going to do that run that Jude Bellingham did, and I think someone like Gordan will. So Gordan on the left for me, like you said, he's rapid. He's not afraid to use his pace as well.
Yeah,
he knows he's quick. And then I'd have to go Palmer. I'd have to go Palmer on the right. He just, every time he gets the ball, he's like he always makes something happen every single time he gets the ball. Whether it's like where it doesn't quite come off, but it looks threatening, he always makes something happen. Saka's been his best performance. He's had really good spells in games, but it's not been as effective as I like. Like you said, he does need he's so used to an Odegaard or a Walker to sort of link up with a Ben White. Sorry. So I'd go Palmer, Harry Kane, Anthony Gordan, and then we've got Saka to come off the bench if we need it for a Palmer. Maybe Jude Bellingham's come off the bench in my team if we need it. I'm liking the look of that.
Let me ask you this: with the Palmer cameo the other day, 20 minutes I think he got. He looked good, right? You're a top-level baller. Did he look good? And is it easier to look good off the bench against tired legs? Because I feel like if the roles were reversed, Saka would look equally as good.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially for a winger and a striker, really. Especially the winger is probably the number one position to look good when you come off the bench. Because like you said, you are fresh. And if you're a right back or a left back, as soon as they make a sub with your winger, you're sort of having this internal battle with the winger the whole game, which people don't really realise. Yeah. And you're sort of trying to get one up on each other. And then as soon as he's made a sub, you're thinking, oh my God, he's bringing on some fresh guy who's rapid. I'm done here. So it's very, and like you said, with Palmer, when he comes on, all he has to do is just get at someone who's played 70 minutes. He's got the massive advantage already. Which is why I was so impressed with Mainoo, because it's hard to make an impact from a centre mid as a sub, I think, especially a deep line centre mid. So he done great, and I'd say Saka could be equally as effective, but that's why I'm not. The only reason I'm picking Palmer is because I don't want Saka and Palmer both on. If Palmer was better off the left, I'd play Palmer on the left and Saka on the right, and then have Gordon to come on. So that's why, I don't feel like it's a slight on Saka. It's more just one or the other.
It's not a slight. It does seem harsh. As the second highest scoring England Player of the Year 2 years in a row, I don't think he's done anything wrong. I think first game he was good, and obviously got us our assist. I think everything been going down the right means that for 70 to 80 minutes, you're doing everything and it's exhausting. I think the right wing spot massively benefits when we sort the left-hand side of the pitch out, because it takes some pressure off. Like at this point, Saka's probably like, mate, I've done 20 runs in this half so far. Please give it out to the left winger. But there's no left winger there. So I think I can't drop Saka because he's played okay, and this is in a team that hasn't played very well, and he hasn't done anything wrong. I think with him cutting in as well and Gordan making back post runs, that in-swinging ball over the top that Saka does all the time will get swept up and cleaned up by Anthony Gordan. But Palmer is good as well, and so I wouldn't despise him playing.
So let's say you start with Gordan and Saka, and then you've got the two. I always think in tournament football, especially as we've seen, especially in the knockouts, the subs, regardless of what team you play, are always going to have a big impact. They have to. So who are you seeing in your team? Who are you seeing come off the bench and have an impact if the game is, cagey, which I think it will be? Yeah,
I'm seeing Ollie Watkins for one. Big, strong, fast, and power. That's the difference with him and Kane, right? Kane is an exceptional finisher. Watkins will make the runs for you, which Kane isn't that player. And I don't think that's a problem. But Watkins offers that something different when in 65 minutes, 70 minutes, when the defence are like, we've locked up Harry Kane now. He's not done anything. You bring on Ollie Watkins, you're like, okay, this is another challenge now.
Chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, and I think that's a good thing. Ollie Watkins, for me, Cole Palmer coming on is unbelievable, right? One of the best players in the Premier League last season. You've got him coming off the bench against you. So good. I don't hate Jared Bowen. I really don't hate Jared Bowen.
Yeah.
Again, he's quite direct, quite mature with the ball. In my team, Foden was on the bench. So Foden then comes on. In your team, Bellingham comes on. I think there's a plethora, man, of unbelievable players that we can bring off the bench. And what we're doing at the minute is not playing very well and hoping that these subs make a difference. Whereas in my head, you mix it up so that you hopefully play well, and then the players that weren't playing well to begin with can come on and right now I've got to make my mark because I've been subbed off. You know what I mean? I think there's a mentality shift when you get put onto the bench, that when you come on, you have to go for it 1,000,000%, which maybe we haven't been doing from first minute.
Yeah, completely agree, to be fair. And you make a really good point with Ollie Watkins and Palmer. It's almost like you're starting with the direct on the out wide and the sort of the finisher and the playmaker in the middle. And then you're putting the playmakers on the width when you bring on Palmer and Foden, and then you're putting Ollie Watkins. So you've still got the best of both worlds, either way you look at it. So yeah, they could. I think that'd be great if that was the team. Ollie Watkins and Palmer maybe come on at the same time. That'd be great. That could be really effective.
Are we in agreement that we think the only thing he's going to do is start Mainoo and that's it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's not changing anything else, and then it'll probably be similar subs. If he does do it, just make the subs earlier. That's all I'm saying. Just make the subs earlier. If it's a similar style game and it's gone the same way, don't wait till the 85th minute to bring on Gordan or whenever he brought on Palmer.
Yeah, I think he's got himself stuck into a thing now of like, oh no, because it's Foden and it's Saka and it's Bellingham and it's Kane. They will do something, so I'll just hold off a bit longer, and then that just perpetuates, doesn't it? In my opinion, the people that need to turn it on are Foden and Kane. And I know I've said Kane is a moments player, but he hasn't even really given himself them moments. Yeah. Bellingham has been equally as ineffective, if not more ineffective than Foden. But I don't think Bellingham has that like pizzazz that he can just switch on. I think he's just a very good player. Foden has that switch where he, like you said, run through 4 players and slot it in the bottom corner, which we haven't seen yet. And if he fires, and like I said, I've been his biggest critic, I'm all for him starting, but he has to show something fairly quickly, because if not, I'm looking at like 50, 55-minute subs.
Yeah, that's exactly the same for me. We've got to be ruthless and quick with them subs now and notice what's going on early. So hopefully that's the case. Let's get on to the all-important predictions for Sunday. Okay. I will go first. I do think we're going to win. I think we're going to score 2, and I don't think we'll concede. We've been very solid at the back, and he's going to go with the same back 4, I think. So I'm going to go 2-0 to England. I'm actually going to go in 90 minutes. I'm going to go Harry Kane brace. 1's going to be a pen.
We will happily take that.
You heard it here first.
Happily. Are we going to play better, do you reckon?
Are
we going to play better?
I think we'll play better.
Yeah.
Do I?
Come on.
I think that was me hoping we play better.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking that every game. I don't know. I really don't know. It's so hard to call, because I just look at the names on the team and I think, yeah, we've got to play better. But we've had them names at the start, so
it's crazy.
But if he comes,
the actual talent.
Yeah, if we plays Gordan and the direct wingers, I think we'll play better. Yeah. If it's the same team with Mainoo, probably similar. What are you thinking?
I mean, I've said this every single game. I think this is the game where we turn up. I do. There is absolutely. I think a lot of people forget that group stage tournament football is rank. Like everyone after the first Germany game, the 5-1 against Scotland, see Germany go out all guns blazing. They lost their 3rd game. I know Spain made loads of changes. France didn't win all their games. Netherlands didn't win all their games. Group stage football is just about getting through. Yes, it's great if you can build momentum, but it is about getting through. And we finished top. We didn't play amazing. I think we conceded the lowest XG in the whole tournament. Defensively, fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought we played, although it was terribly boring. I think that's partly Slovenia's fault the other day because they knew they could just get a draw and they'd be through. So they were playing for that. They were playing for 0-0, 11 behind the ball. Benjamin Sesko, who's been hailed as like the next big thing, did nothing because he had nothing to do. I think if we play like that with Slovakia, who will have to come out a bit more, they're not going to be sitting as deep as Slovenia. I think we'll play a lot better, and I think we will win convincingly, and I think we will win 3-0.
3-0. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go, after all that I've said, Foden goal, Kane goal, Saka goal. Spread it across the front three. Why not?
Yeah. Foden, I like that. 3-0 and 2-0. So,
yeah.
Listen, I think we'll keep a clean sheet. Sheet. And we'll see how they get on. 2-0 and 3-0. One of us surely got to hit that nail on the head, I reckon.
Or is it just going to be a terrible 1-0?
Oh, God. Listen, however we get through, it does not matter at this point. It really doesn't.
That's very true. And look, they have to win too. You can't draw anymore. They have to win. So at some point, they have to play football in our half. And I think that really does only benefit us. I think this is the game where you see a bit of a switch flicked, and we turn it on and we all get confident and start singing It's Coming Home Again.
Let's leave it there. Well said. We'll turn it
Perfect.
on. Nice one.